Red Bull, a name recognized all over the world. For those who've tasted it, they know the slogan all too well. Red Bull gives you wings. This popular energy drink has grown into a billion-dollar company, beloved in more than 170 countries, with an astounding 7.9 billion cans sold every year. To put this in perspective, it means each person on Earth would drink more than one can every year. But if you're like many others, you might have no idea how it all started, how a simple energy drink turned into a global phenomenon, redefined an entire market, and even helped push the boundaries of how we think about branding and marketing. What's even more fascinating is that Red Bull wasn't always destined for success. What began as a modest local drink targeting the hardworking labor class in Thailand transformed into one of the world's leading energy drinks. Behind it was a man who had no formal education, no background in beverages, and certainly no major corporation backing his ideas. His journey and later his partnership with an Austrian marketer are the defining factors in the success of Red Bull. This is the incredible story of Red Bull and the lessons that can be learned from the company's rise. Let's explore how it all began, how it defied the odds, and how it found success where many others failed. Humble beginnings. A man with a dream. The man who founded Red Bull was Chaleo Yoovidhya, a man whose life couldn't have seemed further from the global business mogul status he would one day achieve. Chaleo was born in the northern Thai province of Phuket to poor Chinese immigrants who worked as duck farmers and fruit sellers. Growing up, Chaleo didn't have the privileges many entrepreneurs do today. He didn't have much of a formal education and spent his days helping on the farm. But even at a young age, Chaleo knew that there must be more than life as a farmer. Driven by a desire for something greater, he left the small rural village and moved to Bangkok, the vibrant capital city of Thailand. Life in the big city was not easy for someone with no education or significant money. Without formal qualifications, Chaleo picked up a range of odd jobs to support himself. From driving a bus to selling pharmaceuticals, he struggled but never gave up. As his fortunes began to change, Chaleo took a significant leap and started his own business, TC Pharmaceutical Industries. The company wasn't groundbreaking. It imported antibiotics and cosmetics, but it provided him a foothold to think bigger. A new venture, the birth of Krating Daeng. Chaleo had always been observant of opportunities and saw an emerging need in Thailand's labor market. Thailand was undergoing industrial growth in the 1970s, with the economy shifting from traditional farming to labor-driven industries. Workers in factories, on construction sites, and behind the wheels of trucks were burning out and needed something to keep them going. At the time, the market for energy drinks didn't exist. The few energy beverages available on the market tasted medicinal, lacked appeal, and did not address the broader public. In 1976, Chaleo saw a chance to provide a better product. Working in his TC Pharmaceutical Industries office, Chaleo mixed up a concoction, a syrup he called Krating Daeng, meaning Red Bull in Thai. At first, Krating Daeng wasn't seen as anything special. It was sold primarily in pharmacies and wasn't marketed to the high-end consumer, but targeted at laborers and truck drivers who needed energy boosts to make it through their grueling workday. It wasn't long before his syrup began to gain traction among the working class. As Thailand's industrial labor force expanded, workers found Krating Daeng increasingly beneficial. It became a regular source of energy for those struggling with long hours on the road and in factories. The drink's success helped solidify a niche in the Thai market that was based not on luxury, but on necessity for an emerging labor class. Yet even with early success in Thailand, Chaleo did not yet realize the full potential of his invention. His marketing strategy in the 1970s was particularly unique. He tapped into a provincial market that other brands were overlooking. Chaleo believed that blue-collar workers were an underserved demographic, so he aimed to give them more than just a product. His effort to brand Krating Daeng around hard work and endurance began to set it apart from competitors. A big push came from sponsoring Thai boxing matches, an extremely popular sport at the time, and Chaleo made sure that Krating Daeng's logo was always in plain sight at these events. It was a symbol of strength and endurance, reflecting the essence of what the drink promised. His son, Woot, recalled how his father made his beverage known, saying, "He pushed into the provincial market first, gaining a foothold by distributing free samples to truck drivers. The Austrian connection. In 1982, Red Bull's fate was altered forever. On a business trip to Thailand, Dietrich Mateschitz, an Austrian salesman working for a multinational toothpaste company, came across Krating Daeng. Dietrich was intrigued by the drink's ability to combat jet lag and quickly became enamored by it. Born in the small Austrian village of St. Marianne in 1944, Dietrich had a vast marketing background but had no experience in the energy drink world. At this point, Dietrich had grown bored of his sales career and was seeking a more exciting challenge. His meeting with Krating Daeng proved to be life-changing. It didn't take long for Dietrich to recognize a massive gap in the Western market, a lack of energy drinks similar to Krating Daeng. Most Western nations had no comparable product. He saw an opportunity to take the drink worldwide, especially in Europe, where it could revolutionize the way people saw energy drinks. Dietrich set out to meet Chaleo. Initially, Chaleo was hesitant to partner with someone from another continent, but Dietrich quickly convinced him of the potential that an international expansion could offer. They eventually formed a partnership, investing $500,000 in the brand together, and in 1984, Red Bull was born. The rocky road to Red Bull's success. As any entrepreneur will tell you, groundbreaking ideas don't always succeed on their first try. The early tests for Red Bull were anything but promising. When Dietrich and Chaleo launched Red Bull in Austria, market research revealed some unsavory facts. Consumers said the taste was bad, it was too sweet, and they didn't like the sticky feeling it left in the mouth. Many voices advised Dietrich to give up, saying the brand wouldn't succeed. The drink was unhealthy, the marketing was too bold, and consumers wouldn't bite. But Dietrich, much like Chaleo before him, chose to trust his instincts. He was convinced that the product could work, and more importantly, he recognized that it needed more than just marketing and packaging. It needed a new approach. The golden formula: marketing, branding, and extreme sports. For Dietrich, the turning point came in the form of what could only be described as revolutionary marketing. Realizing that there was no point in competing in traditional advertising spaces, Dietrich chose instead to champion a niche that very few corporations were even thinking of at the time: extreme sports. At the time, brands and big companies rarely sponsored extreme sports, but Dietrich saw an opportunity to position Red Bull not just as a drink, but as a lifestyle. Sports like Formula One, snowboarding, mountain biking, and skydiving soon became intrinsically linked with the brand. The sponsoring of extreme sports set Red Bull apart in a highly competitive market. It became the drink that didn't just energize the body, it symbolized thrill, risk, and adventure. From skydiving stunts to world record attempts, Red Bull began a new tradition of adrenaline-fueled feats. This shift in marketing helped convey the message that Red Bull was not simply about energy. It was about pushing limits, a part of a daring lifestyle, something that would resonate particularly with younger generations. Events like the Red Bull Flug Tag, a fun event where competitors build their flying machines and attempt to launch them from a high platform, became cultural phenomena in their own right. Red Bull's marketing innovation was so far ahead of its time that it's often cited as one of the most successful strategies in modern marketing. From caffeine to global domination. Despite its humble beginnings in Thailand and initial setbacks in Europe, Red Bull quickly began to dominate. By 1987, Red Bull had grown enough to sell millions of cans across Europe and eventually worldwide. It didn't take long before millions of drowsy office workers and exam-cramming college students embraced Red Bull as a remedy for fatigue. Soon, Red Bull was everywhere, from supermarkets to clubs, planes, and festivals. Dietrich and Chaleo had succeeded in creating a product that was simple yet groundbreaking. They had managed not only to perfect the product's marketing, but also its unique place in the consumer's mind. Red Bull wasn't just another energy drink. It was a cultural icon, a ticket to a more adventurous, extreme life. Both men saw their fortunes rise dramatically. Chaleo passed away in 2012 as Thailand's third richest man, while Dietrich Mateschitz became Austria's wealthiest person. Red Bull's journey wasn't without challenges, however. The brand faced a lawsuit in 2014 over misleading marketing. A man named Benjamin Carruthers found that Red Bull exaggerated its caffeine content in advertising, leading to a lawsuit in the US. The jury ruled in his favor, and Red Bull had to change its famous slogan, adding an extra I to the word wings. Despite these bumps, Red Bull's influence continued to soar. What do you think about Red Bull's incredible journey from a duck farmer's idea to a global empire? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing success stories.